And it's still our special programming because of International Women's Day. We told the story of some heroes in the informal sector, balance work and home. And we thought that we'll bring that back to you. And then we'll get underway with our conversation. When was the last time you spotted Madam Otiko Afisa Jaba? She's on my show. Stay with us.
I'm Regina Botrot. Honey, Abubushi market. Emba shall be an empty 4 o'clock. She will have fish and be Majun. Inabile Jane where your bushy problem for you go the one ever J. In my say. She will let become in by the can do it. Can you do it? But I shall be a name.
Miss sorry in term na me dress you up. Na ma chire aduane na obedia na mama we aduane no na ma kire wo se wo school bag no me de wo sika ahyem enti edu time se e bi nso wo ho na me de no akọ school no na ma agyae omo na ma abadwom ho enti me badwom se ya ese me ye ntem so na me nkofie na me nkɔhwɛ omo afridwom aba na ma hwe omo na omo adware na omo adidi se homework no mbe ya na omo aye na ye nyina ya abom ya tena ho abom pai na ye nyina na ya akoda
Sabenim Majuman Belefe 2 Blanca 2:30 year my name. My name no can work well no service me home. In young woman, we got to 7 years. Standing pa intention.
Blanca 6 o'clock. Bashi Abubushi market. Kamash be an it shall be a call Bele shop. Oh, he only be to Ababa Hemi, Mokoba he, Moko he, so I only be a fan of Atash. Kamoko bar, or I serve what Tashi be a name? What bars and may be an orphan what bars and what sure ideas can it be? What bars and Ojo bar? Can you home or bar or bar home? Can be any home or bar or no cash? What I draw, I love attaching. Catch at 5 o'clock, walk back. I can watch it. You can be with your shia. In the year 5, she may hear the lap. She had 3 Nipako and the Huameba. Shang Papa, she a cafe. We have for a few. Walk a few, your yai on Macake, in Yashia. Can she shia, Wabahoni, Wabaye, Wabajoy, Wabaka TV feel, okay, what come Carter 5K, what is where is my well, less and one will be at school. Sana may at school to buy. Scare Balaka will buy for Jan, long will buy in Jan. Bona. Equally at school, eba holiday school. Sanik Becania Batuni, eba where my miniature local few. Bona. Get a bena, it school. Shona ke show ekoni business e ahe ni ke bajifio keke ota hoshikani okechuni bona chi eni eko be no ba naye e wo ke fe ngba he na chunku ona ke chi ahe ni ke oyako e ba fe problem ko e ha gba ke so nyon pe ona e wo ko pe ka ahe ni e sa no ahe yomboko no ko ke ba futu wo onu chumomi mi na kanji problem. Then that way. Me wala she anything business. No me first dem mami who work on me. Nke mami who tun bona. She help me ka ko she anu chumo. Ehi wo ma tun aka ma baja no. E woni ba wo lo di no ni ka ba start. Inu chumo. African mama. Oh, esa na kwa yo jogba ye ekule ya ke ba mi eni fe mo mi fe sa na kwa yo jogba ye eshikagbe enyemo gbe ona enu chumo be ne ba anye na he ko fine ne ta ne ho ni nokpoko gbe na ahe ni ona o ba anyo ba market ko ba market e cho be na ahe noko jala mi fe jodi ona mboko e ya mboko ba mo ke baja no ne ho nokwe ke te sha mi le ke bi ba yi onu shishi ewa ni enu ba ho no ba ne ko ba he ni ndo yi You at least go on na support ko keje he ko ni mo ko kebo no ko e. Eh fine.
Okra mi sapo oba no bi o mi pe. Dabi mi pe obema. Mi pe obema kura da. Bema kura oni oba ti okra baako pe no mo ti mi omo ani ehwe ma. Enye oh. Ube fi se owo oye bibia, oye bibi ma onye hwi.
And now no pay. The Portuguese now.
It's modern e gbeke bi. Ibi ya fe pi be ntashi ya mete. Bora, ntashi ya mete be oho ni ha ma menye. Nye gbasa ne nye hwe. It's mo na ka ma je ni bi.
And indeed, just by watching the story that we've just told, you know that our journey did not begin today, except that 8th of March every year now, we observe Women's Day. Joining me for a conversation, really, and you can all dig into this conversation. Dinah Adiko has been here. We did the newspapers earlier, and she stayed. Thank you, Dinah. But also joining this conversation is Madam Otiko Afisa Jaba, whom we haven't seen in a while. Good morning to you. Thank you for being here.
Good morning.
I think I have to ask you, just before we continue, where have you been these days?
I've been where I want to be. But I'd like to use this opportunity to wish all Ghanaian women a very wonderful day. It's fantastic to be a woman.
Yeah.
Some might not think so, but without a woman, there will be no world. And Mama Ghana yede.
Just picking up from because we decided to also put a spotlight on the everyday woman who is in the market, who does a lot of things.
Yeah.
Hearing them recount the things that they have to do every day to survive. Where are we? Where are we?
Well, there's been some improvement. You can't say that nothing has been achieved. At least today, more girls are increasingly in school. You have more women in the business world. You have more women in parliament. At independence, we had no woman until Kwame Nkrumah did the affirmative action and brought in 10 women. Now we have 37 women in parliament. It's still not enough, but at least we've progressed, and that's the best ever. You have more women at the tertiary level. And so if you look at the development of Ghana, women have advanced a little bit. But we want to fly and bridge the gap between the men and the women. And that is why we feel that there is the need for us to accelerate the pace of development of women so that we can catch up. Not that we want to take over, but at least let's be equal. So I like the theme, better for balance, that we can only have a better world when there is balance, when there is equity, when there is equality. And when you think equally, and then you build smart, then you can innovate for change. If we don't work together, you cannot develop at the rate at which you want to go. Unless Ghana understands that women are 52%. So we are the majority. And the less than 52% are also born by women. So we are very, very critical to the development of our societies.
Yeah.
And women ourselves must understand that. We are special, we are unique, we are the vessel of creation. We nurture the children, nurture the home. We are powerful. And so feel beautiful.
Yeah.
And feel good that you are a woman.
So as I was just listening to you say all the things, do we know this, Dinah? Do we know how powerful we are as women?
I think we are aware that we have power and we can influence, but we are using that power according to how society has assigned our roles. We conform very strongly to the roles, the gender roles as assigned by us, that women should do this and men should do this, and this is expected of men. And part of that socialization has led us to some extent to accept that women do not belong in leadership. Because in the initial construction of societal roles, it was described and proposed that men lead and women sat behind. So even today, the system has introduced its own structures that makes it difficult for women to lead than it is for men to lead. No matter how good leaders women can be, no matter how powerful they are, and no matter how influence they can hold, there's power. Women have power. Start it from nowhere. Begin with even children around you and your younger siblings and all of that. How much influence you can have on them. But again, the system does not recognize that power, so we conform and we let go. And you know that a lot of narrative, for example, that say women don't own property. So if you are making money, it has to be in your husband's name, your brother's name, or your father's name. So you have to cede off whatever influence and power it is you have. And then so we continue to follow the stereotypes. Women. So I was reading some of the statistics you had on the board. Subjects like science and mathematics are lessly studied by women, not because they don't have the intellectual ability to study those subjects, but because somebody or some people thought that those areas were no domain areas for women. So if you say, where are we at? We're in a struggle. I think we are at the state of increased awareness.
Okay.
We are in the state of increased agitation. We are at the state of a little bit more resistance. So we resist, we accept, we resist, we accept by some groups of people. It's not only men who are resistant. I think sometimes it's very misleading to suggest that men are the only ones resistant.
Yeah.
Women equally are resisting some of the call for equality and balance, actually. And it is not out of place. It's not their fault. I think these are products of the socialization that we have gone through that said women are beneath men or second-class citizens, to put it very raw and unrefined. That so then women are equally resistant. If women were not resistant, why would 52% of a population not vote for, I mean, a single female, an MP? Why is it so difficult for female parliamentarians to win? And I don't blame the women who don't believe in women leaders, because they have also been socialized to believe that it is men who should lead and women should not.
Okay, so let's structure this. Are we just saying that because I am a woman and I want to be in parliament, vote for me? What really is the fight? Because you should be prepared. You should be prepared for the role that we're pushing you into. What's the point in going to parliament and not contributing and making any change? Because ultimately what we want to see is change.
Yes, I would answer that question only asking from the point, how many men are prepared to be in parliament? Of the over 200 males in parliament, how many voices are you familiar with? For all those hundreds who are quiet and go to parliament and out every day and get their salaries and their allowances and their fuel, do we ever bother that they are there and they aren't saying anything? So I think it's a leadership situation in our country where we need to develop our skills a bit stronger to be able to engage in the spaces we find ourselves. I don't want us to make it a women problem, because we have a lot of male leaders who are not prepared, who have no clue what they are doing there, but they are there. We're applauding them, we're satisfied. But when it comes to women, we begin to question, why are they there? We don't want incompetent women, so don't we want incompetent men.
Yes.
But if the country is ready for incompetent men, women should be equally by their side, enjoying incompetent services.
Madam Otiko, you've trained and you've interacted with a lot of female, especially when we want to push them either into parliament or, you know, in the local assembly. So you are very familiar with this. What is the issue? And let's face it, because you're a woman, you have to do the extra, whether you like it or yes. That's what it is. So are we prepared to be pushed into these areas? Do we look prepared?
Being born a woman, you are prepared. The mere fact that you were born female, don't you remember? Mommy will say, when you're going to school, hold your brother's hand. Bath your little brothers and sisters. Help me to do this, help me to do that. That is you being a leader. You are thrust into it once you are a female. The boys will be asked to go and play football, but you'll be asked to go and fetch water. You are managing things. So when they say we don't know maths, I find it interesting. How do women balance the chop money to start with? You have to balance things before you can even make a home and survive. There are some men who don't even contribute to the chop money, as we call it. And yet they are fed. How is that done? That woman is special. So it's early socialization to let it go into the heads of our sons and our daughters that we are equal. Boys and girls are equal. We must think equal. And so the chores that the girl child will perform, the boy child should perform them. He should also fetch the water, make fire, chi the banku, do everything. Let him also go to the market, go to the grinding mill. Let him do the same things, and let the girl also play football. Why? In this Ghana, the best players are the black queens. They went and brought gold, but nobody would carry millions of dollars to go and pay them. Up to date, some of their allowances have not been paid. But the black stars, when was the last time they won gold? But every day, black stars, because we have conscientized our minds to think that we live in a male-dominant society, patriarchy and all of that, so it's okay. It's never okay. That's why Ghana is where it is. The time has come for change, for parents to socialize their children from day one, for schools to understand that it is okay for both boys and girls to go and learn medicine, engineering and all of that. And so we will grow with that new mentality that we can equally, after all, there are female doctors, there are females in the army, the male-dominant professions, women are getting into them. Initially, it was okay, women sit in the house, cook and bear children. It's no longer okay. When there is a war, what happens? The women take over. And so life is a war. So you don't need to wait for any takeover. And it's not a coup d'etat. We want to work together side by side and complement each other's efforts so that together we can build Mother Ghana and make it stronger. The everyday woman must understand that her son is not more important than her daughter. And her daughter herself must understand her uniqueness. Yes, she will have her menstrual period, but that is part of her biological physique. And it's important for her to go through those things. So mothers must educate their children on how to prepare for them. She could get pregnant. That should not derail her education. You must prepare her mind and let her understand that she should not give herself to any man or boy because it can affect her development. As she grows older, she would feel strong because she grew up as a strong girl. So it must come from the girl child. And the woman in Nakpanduri or the woman selling things in Makola, she's not aware of International Women's Day. We talk about it. It's something that I think has become like an elitist thing. It's something that in the international circles we talk about. But how do we bring it down to the everyday Ghanaian woman to understand that because she is so special, that is why the UN has set aside 8th of March for over 100 years that we should celebrate the woman. And so even if she's selling kose or banku, she is special. When you were playing the program, the woman was saying that she doesn't need a man, and what do the men do for them? The fact that she's even saying it tells you that she does need a man. We need each other. We need each other. That is why Adam and Eve came. And I always say that if Eve hadn't asked Adam to eat the apple, we'll all be running around naked. Tells you how intuitive and special women think. We think smart.
Yeah. Let's remain, because if we have come to accept the fact that women have to do extra, then we all would expect our women parliamentarians, for instance, to do extra. Do we see that they're being vibrant enough to inspire others, Dinah, to want to be in parliament today?
I think the few women in parliament, almost all of them are visible compared to the number of men in parliament.
So you're going with the numbers?
No, I'm just going with the situation of our country. I am conscious that in our efforts to seek for balance, you know, we don't put too much unrealistic burden on women and use that as a basis to pull the carpet from under their feet. We live within a certain context, and that context is that our leadership probably need a lot more capacity. And if leadership needs capacity, both men and women need capacity. We should not use different standards to measure the efforts of women, blinding ourselves to the struggles they go through as women and the things they need to deal with, and say that they are not capable, so they shouldn't go. When we talk about country, we talk about human rights. We don't talk about men's rights and women's rights separately. True. So if human beings need to be in parliament, both men and women are there, and we say they are not pulling their weight, to put it ordinary, we should be looking for avenues for capacity for both men and women, recognizing their unique challenges and then supporting them, rather than saying women are not pulling their weight. I can bet that the 30 women, at least more than half of them are well known to the country. Begin the list from the northern part of Ghana to the south. We have a lot of the women from the various caucuses. They are known. Over 50% of the women in parliament are known. Less than 20% of the men in parliament are known. Are we worried that men shouldn't continue to go to parliament because they are not proving their worth? We are setting too many different standards. And those are some of the reasons why you, Mama V, are not going to parliament anytime soon. But we need the like of you in parliament. But the standards by which you see the world measuring women makes it difficult for you to go. The support that is available for women vis-a-vis the judgment of their effort is so weak that you are deterred from going. I am deterred from going. You understand? Not. Yes, so
you're not, are you going 2020?
I did go for parliamentary primaries in 2008. Yes, I won the primaries, but I lost the election.
Okay.
I'm not afraid.
You're going
to go trying anywhere. Again then?
You're going
no, for now, I'm not trying to go. But I'm saying that it's a choice you make.
Yes, it's a choice you make.
You have to make your own choice.
I agree that it's a choice you make, but sometimes there's a saying that says choose your battles. And I will not speak for myself that because I'm interested, I'll be blind to the things that deter other women. Yeah. Very recently, there was an election in Ayawaso. And we saw the dynamics and how the election played out, and how the woman, the only woman who contested, what she was subjected to,
that was
the
terrible.
kind of attacks.
It was ugly.
It was unnecessary.
Very unnecessary.
And women across the country are going through that.
But how many women came out to support her and to voice out?
That's a different conversation. You know, for the rest of the women, their minds might have told them that she shouldn't have gone in the first place, because for the rest of us, we're socialized to understand our role in a certain way. So even in our minds, Okoye, why is she even in this thing? Because we have been trained not to pay our hwasem. We should fold our hands and be calm. And then one of us got some wrong memo and showed up at the wrong place, and we feel sorry for her, but we don't even want to be roped into that mess. So we keep quiet. And there's some people, women who actually attacked her because they also believe that she shouldn't have been there. These are all, again, I emphasize, products of our socialization. What are we telling ourselves, our children, our grandchildren, and the generations before and after? So they all come back to haunt us. They do haunt us. And so when I say I am not prepared, I mean the ordinary girl on the street is not prepared because of the things you see. And then it affects your relationship. People call your relationship into question. What kind of man is she with? How can the man permit her to go all out like this? It shouldn't have been allowed. And it goes on and on. And if you are not married, you are very careful the kinds of things you do because it could affect your choice of a partner. If you are married, the partner probably decides for you what you should do. So there's so much gender bias, influence, and control on the female gender, such that if we don't have that conversation and probably dismantle some of the barriers, we are not going to make progress.
I've got a very important question, but I see that you wanted to say something.
Yes, I wanted to say that we should stop shifting the goalposts. There's one set of goalposts for the men and another for the women. And when it suits our society, then we shift it. It must change. It must change with us, with the young girls today, understanding that I'm the best thing that ever happened in my family, in my community, in my society, in my nation. So you never put yourself down. Educate yourself to the highest level. Build your capacity in whichever area you are. You will have your fears, you have your challenges. So do the men. It's okay for you to even fail because it's part of development. And then you overcome. It's not how you fall, it's how you stand up. So I want to use this opportunity to tell the young girl, don't let anybody shift the goalpost on you. Yes, sometimes when you are getting older, they might say that, oh, the clock is ticking, why don't you go and get married? Marriage too is very good, but is that the time that you want to get married? Is it because society says, oh, by 21, 25, you should get married? You might not be ready to get married. You might not be ready to have children. What is your priority? So you must prioritize and understand what is important to you. It's not just about your weave on and your false nails and the latest music and clothes and things like that. It's good to be beautiful, but your essence, your value, your intrinsic understanding of your worth and who you are is what will define you as a woman. And so if you choose to go to parliament, you go, you get your support, you go out there understanding the issues. If you are in parliament, make yourself visible because you are representing people. You're not just there for yourself. Go and speak out for your people and your constituency. Wherever you are, not just parliament, across the various sectors of development and professions, you must be who you are in your own way and define yourself. Don't let other people define you. For instance, sometimes women think that, oh, I have to sleep with the boss before I can make it. I have to do this, otherwise be kowtowing to the boss, otherwise I cannot make it. No, you don't. It's a choice you make. You don't have to sleep with anybody. You have to do what you think will help you.
Okay, let me follow up with, because let's stay here. I like where we are. Let me follow up with some real things that could confront you. You don't have to sleep with anybody. You're looking for a job. There are a million who are also looking for the same job. People on it. You are so close to getting it. It's just the one thing that the man is asking for. And somebody will tell you, how hard is that? Who would know what you've done anyway?
Sir, my body would know.
How do you get there and decide that I won't do it, but you need that job?
My body would decide that it's a problem. I don't need a second eye to see that I don't want to be sexually violated for a job that I qualify for. And you see, then when we start talking about how does the individual, one person would not be able to fight the system. So if our country is saying we are reflecting, so the essence of International Days, for example, is to reflect on the progress made, the challenges, and then to forge ahead. If today we are reflecting, let's begin to ask this country, Ghana, how we are addressing the issue of sexual harassment. Does every institution have a standardized sexual harassment policy? Are the perpetrators being taken on and strongly punished so that the impunity with which sexual harassment is practiced is reduced remarkably? Are we setting standards and are we getting scapegoats?
I don't think we are.
Not.
You're asking very important questions, and I'm saying no to all the things you raised.
The country is not. And so when we don't do that and we stand on a platform and say the women are not ready, we are being hypocrites. We are pretending, we are pretentious, we are condoning the system, and we are continuing to suppress women. That is what we are fostering. Because if things like sexual harassment, which is one of the most common, widely practiced form of sexual offense, is allowed to slide, and then people are saying, can't you take a joke? Can't you sacrifice a little? Do you know what others have done? Others have done worse things. Others go begging and they don't get the opportunity. And we're allowing bosses to sit at the top and to do it to girl after girl and abuse woman after woman.
Interns, those who are doing national service.
People who deserve their promotion, people who deserve allowances. You need a trip, you need an extra training. It has to be on the ticket of somebody's terms. And the country is silent on that. We should begin to now award organizations, institutions, firms for how well they're implementing sexual harassment policy, for first developing it and implementing it effectively. But we aren't doing anything like that. So if we are not, it will be very unfair to ask my daughter, why are you not persevering high? Why are you not, you know, being like Amma, who right after school, she's got a job with this big firm, without recognizing that maybe Amma didn't have the sexual harassment challenges in front of her. Or maybe Amma decided to brave it and said, to hell with my body, I'm going for it. But maybe my daughter cannot do that. So until we clean up the system and let the laws work, sexual harassment is one of the biggest challenges women are facing in search of job, in pursuit of academic excellence. It's a challenge. Let us not sleep on this problem.
But can I also say that there are people, Madam Otiko, who you don't even have to offer it because the mindset is that is what naturally happens. They've come prepared, and even if you don't ask, they are ready to give you. How do we change this? The people who are ready to give you so that they get the grades.
It's their choice as well. Everything boils down to choice. But the question you should ask is, when there is a job opportunity, do the bosses want to sleep with the men? There are millions of people applying. Why is it that only the women think that they might need that extra aid? It's because of all the baggage that we've been carrying, and we need to drop the baggage. This is Ghana at 62, and over how many years have we been evolving? You don't owe anybody anything. You make that choice that, yes, as for me, this job that I'm going for, and I know some of the young girls, when they go into for internship, why not just say, baby, by the time she leaves, she must have a car, she must have this, she must have that, or a school area and all of that. But that is a choice. How is it going to impact on your body? When you allow those choices, and then you become, so to speak, quote unquote, a big person, they will go through your cupboard. Then when you're looking for some public office, they will come out and say that you were a sexual football when you were younger and that you were sleeping for grades or for this or that. So you must remember the actions that you take today will impact on your life 10, 20, 30, 40 years beyond. So choose carefully your actions today. I'm going to the beach. I'm wearing this. I'm going to do this. These are the people. Somebody takes a picture of you half naked. 20 years later, you want to go to parliament, then they bring it up. And those are the things that we have to be careful about. If you are not, then you are preparing yourself for trouble. Yes, men might not have those challenges, but being a woman, you must be aware that one day somebody will go into your cupboard. They do go into the men's cupboards, but it's like when a man has slept around, or but when a woman sleeps around, then she's seen as a prostitute, a whore, and all of that. And that probably links up to the fact that we are seen as vessels of creation. So that's why I keep saying, respect yourself. Your body is for you, and it's the temple of God. So why would you want to treat it basa-basa by sleeping? You don't just give, you don't just give things away, sao. You must expensive yourself, so to speak.
So can I get some real tips here? Because the girls who are going to school, you really want to continue your education, but the money is not there. You really want that job. You want that internship, at least to start something, for them to see what you're capable of so that they can give you a job. But there are all these challenges around you. How do you fight it off? You know, who do you run to, essentially? That's what I'm asking. Where do you go? What door do you open?
The doors that it's and you put it very right. I mean, we can't beat around this problem. The problem is real. There are no support systems. There are no support systems for the poor. There are no support systems for vulnerable people in our society. And so after encouraging that women should step out and take advantage and look for opportunities, and when they go and they hit a wall, there's no place to run to. There are institutions, for example, that should respond to sexual harassment. Just take that as an example. For example, SHRAJ. There are institutions like SHRAJ that people can go to and cases are investigated and all of that. However, how many complaints are waiting at SHRAJ unresolved yet pending investigation? And then how many perpetrators are walking free while the victims have been pinned down because a case is pending? So that in itself, scholarship for girls, scholarship for poor people is very limited in the country. So until we address those opportunities that are missing now, we still encourage people that, you know what, in this era of social media and technology, take advantage of gadgets you have. Get evidence against all these high shoulder flying men who want to take advantage of you. If you are unable to go through the security system for justice, you know where to go to, and they will be embarrassed, disgraced. They'll be called out by society. The jury is out there in the public, and they can help you in clipping the wings of some of these highly abusive officials who sit in high chairs and take advantage of their seat. So whilst we say explore a decent opportunity and look for scholarships and report and all of that, you need evidence to make cases. There's one official that a lot of females in a particular profession, a lot of females are talking about, who has attempted to or has actually taken advantage of them. He's still sitting there because nobody has sent any of his messages. Nobody has taken photo of any of his actions or recorded him. So he still
So there's no
there.
evidence.
There's no evidence. So let us take advantage of the era we are in to gather evidence for the sake of the generations after us and shame some of these people.
But do they report?
Them.
The other problem is the lack of reporting. The women, either they feel ashamed or shy or whatever, they don't report. It's important that we report these things. We must speak out about them, that this person has raped me or has tried to coerce me to sleep with him because of so and so and so. You see what's happening to the singer in America.
R. Kelly?
Yes,
R. Kelly.
yeah. Look at Bill Cosby. All these things,
Michael Jackson coming up.
Yes, all of these things,
movements.
women must begin to speak out about these things. It is not good enough to say, oh, if I say it, the stigma. And then the people will come and say, oh, don't talk about it. They will say you are a prostitute. You are speaking for your rights so that it doesn't happen to you again. It doesn't happen to another person again. The support mechanism will come in when we begin to speak out. Me too, it has happened to me too. And then you'll see that other women and girls will also come out and say, oh, it happened to me, it happened to me. And we all will agitate for change.
Because I was going to ask this kind of support system so that if I came out and people are against me, usually those against you, they are the loudest.
Absolutely.
You know, and you might even find the women also being against you.
Yeah, so what will be that small support group that I can rely on?
Number one is yourself, your self-confidence. You must be confident enough to say that, no, this must not happen to me. This thing has happened, it's unacceptable. And so, first of all, it's yourself. Women must have self-confidence right from childhood. As a girl child, young girls like you, feel good that it's okay to be a woman, to speak your mind. Yes, not that you're just going to talk anyhow, but you will speak your mind when you have something to say, not that you just talk keke. And then build your capacity in terms of education, understanding. Some women are very good in their professions, but they don't read outside their professions. And so when other things are happening, it's like they are enclosed, especially, I don't want to use any particular group's name, but they are enclosed and shrouded in their field of work. But other things happening is like, oh, maybe I'm in count. But we are all women. Let's work together. After building your confidence, you must have a group, a network that you can talk to and share. And also, if you're a young girl, talk to your parents. And parents must also talk to their children. Oh, sorry, I know the Oko market, Oko office, or that you don't know what's happening to them. Then other people are polluting their minds. And this thing called WhatsApp and social media is now bringing up people's children. You have to reduce that and interact with human beings and know that this is happening to A, it's also happening to B. You must socialize. And then when you are developing yourself, never forget God. As for me, I believe that in everything that you do, you must believe in God and pray hard that your mind will be opened to the things that are of value. We're losing values, integrity, discipline. You must discipline yourself. It's not everything that you want to do that you should do. The system, as she said, like there's DOFSO and Shiraj and the legal system, they're all there. But are you aware of them? You must educate yourself in that respect to be aware of them. And you must be fearless. For them to function, we have to push them to function.
We have to test the system.
Structures are there. Like this girl who had pepper put in her eyes. Yes, I asked her to go and report the case. Yes, Mawako, go and get a lawyer. They went to court. In the end, they settled out of court. This lady that was, I pushed it as far as I could. This woman that the policeman assaulted in some bank, you remember?
The Midland.
Yes. She went far with it. In the end, what happened? Somebody is defiled. You fathers are sleeping with children. What is going on? It's because we keep quiet and we accept. Oh, Famenyame, don't talk about it. We are too known. These women who know they are rights people, as if you are a different species. Me, I am a feminist and I'm a female activist. Every female must be like that. You must bring up your children that way. We must understand our rights and our responsibilities. And the men, we must have he for she men. Men supporting women, boys supporting women, and working together. How can a man go and sleep with his daughter? And then the society will say that it is the daughter who has done something wrong. Maybe she entices the father. Have you heard some before? When a woman is raped, what was she wearing? Must I wear something? Don't every woman wear something to go out? Why do you think that it is because I am the victim, that I'm the one who has caused the problem? No. But we must learn to say no, Mama V. Young girls, say no. Say no to anything that endangers your life. Say no to anything that would derail your life. Say no to anything that will affect your life negatively. You must be confident and bold. We must be courageous. You might take a decision that other people think that it is not right, but it is right for you.
And for the rest of the world, when women say no, no means no.
Yes,
because
no must mean no.
Because if we are not
the men, when you say no,
or just pretend she wants to be bossed.
Disrespected. The no is totally ignored. Their voices are muted.
Say it well. Don't say no.
No,
say no.
I think that's a very good way to encourage. But Honorable, what we do also, if we go strongly on this, without recognizing that we have a system that disrespects, that believes that they are entitled to the bodies of women. A system
men are entitled
yes, a system that nurtures men to believe that they are entitled to, it is their right, they should go ahead and violate. You can shout no the loudest, but the perpetrator will go ahead and the system will protect the perpetrator. So whilst we're saying, and then we don't want to make it seem like the victims called it upon themselves because they refused to refuse it. Refuse to rebel it. We have a system where people have so much confidence. Issues of gender-based violence are perpetrated with so much impunity because they know it gets nowhere, and they know that when you report, you become the bad person. The system victimizes and re-victimizes
why did you report your uncle?
So, and yes, why did you report your uncle? Why did you report your father? So we still have a lot of work to do. We still have a lot of socialization, awareness creation.
But those traditional things that are negative and harmful must stop. The traditional rulers must come in. The queen mothers, the assembly members, the parliamentarians must have community discussions and deba and talk about these issues. The community itself must talk about these issues and shame the people. And I like what you said about the award. When I was at the ministry, I was creating an award program for social protection. The community that works well, supporting the poor people, the vulnerable, the community that protects the rights of the vulnerable, rights of women who have been raped, rights of persons with disability, and so on and so forth. These are the issues of our society. Absolutely. And when we talk about them, then you will see that there will be change. They do it in Rwanda. Every last Saturday of the month, they do a cleanup, then they have a community forum. And I was trying to bring it to bear, and I think that Ghana needs to go that way so that we have these community discussions, and then you can film them so that each community will begin to see that, oh, people are doing well. Not that you hear that in the Western region, they are kidnapping girls, and you think that you are in the northern region, it won't happen. When it happens in A, it will happen to B. So let us be each other's keeper, so that when something goes wrong, let us all condemn it. Not that you are selective in your condemnation. And women, this saying that no and how you say it, you must say it emphatically, no. And if you are selling ice water, or you are a student and your teacher says, bring books into my bedroom, you don't take books into anybody's bedroom. You leave them in the hall or leave them outside. You're selling oranges. Then the person says, bring it inside my room. You enter. You're looking for trouble. Don't enter. Stay outside. You are selling. We sell outside, not inside somebody's room. And as soon as the person is molesting, you speak out.
So even as we look, so we should look at all the sites.
Yes, we should look at all the sites.
And take the necessary precautions.
But if we look, for example, I just want to cite an example. In the school setting, when the teacher said, take my book to the classroom, that teacher has calculated, and to my bedroom, has calculated and picked you.
Yes.
And it's not a one-day bring my book. There's a series of plans. And when one fails, he executes the other. He executes the other. So if our message is limited to you saying no loudly, the nature of the abuse does not even require you to say yes or no. It will happen.
No, not just saying no loudly, but not going to places that would also cause your
so take
abuse.
Preventive
measures. Preventive measures.
If you can, I mean,
under the circumstances. You are a child, and so, but sometimes it happens to women as well.
Adults.
I wanted to switch this a bit because I was listening to Drive Time on Joy yesterday, and somebody phoned in and asked this question that I've been thinking about. Why do women stay in abusive relationships? I was just reflecting on it. He said, I am a man. I will not let another man beat me. You know, why would? And he was wondering. And he kept asking, why don't the women leave?
Why don't the women?
Why do they stay? So can I ask, since you're so experienced, you know, you've done a lot of interactions, why do women stay?
Women stay. There are a number of reasons why women stay. One, before even the abuse begins and the desire to leave starts, there's a huge expectation. Marriage is part of the achievement and successes of a woman. An unmarried woman is deemed unsuccessful and undesirable for certain kinds of positions or jobs or status in society. Being married is an achievement. It's a status. That's why Mrs. is very important.
You're shaking your head.
Mrs. is very important to people. If you are married, you are respected. If you want to go for political office and you are not married, you are mocked. It's one of the things they use against you as a woman, not as much as they use it against a man. So first step, note that marriage is a priority institution for people. It makes them complete. Society makes them feel that without that, they are incomplete.
That's failure right there. That's the thinking.
That's the thinking, and that's for real. If you are lucky not to have experienced it within your society, you are lucky, but it's for real. That without being married, you are deemed incomplete.
More so for a woman than
you have a lower status as a woman. Two, if you ever enter a union or a marriage and you leave, you are deemed as a failure. You are a disrespectful woman. You are not
so it must have been your fault.
It's your fault.
You are the reason.
You are the reason your relationship
everything
collapsed.
that goes wrong is
and everything you do, even in your workplace, people will say, look at her. Is it surprising to you that her marriage didn't work? Which kind of man will stand a woman like this? It doesn't matter what made that marriage dissolve. Your friends will point fingers.
But you remember when Madam Shirley Ayoko at Parliament, this issue about the Ghana renting the place.
Norway.
Yes. And then she had a fracas with the parliamentarian.
Sam George.
Yes. On a platform that I was on, somebody sent me the message that the person said, look at her like Otiku, being disrespectful to a man. She's not even married.
And it comes up a lot.
Are you getting me?
You are not even married.
She's not even married. Otiku disrespected her husband. She's divorced and all of that.
So it's always a reference.
That is how it works. And I'm not even the minister. I was not there. I was not there. Sitting in my place, minding my own business.
Out for
but this is how the perceptions, the wrong, erroneous perceptions that men throw out
and the
at women.
premium we place on marriage.
No, there are some women who join in as well.
Of course. Why not?
Yeah.
they are a product of the socialization that say marriage is important, is a priority. And those who join in, they are tolerating and suffering certain things in their unions such that they think because they can take it, you should have taken it. You must be extremely rude and disrespectful and unsubmissive, is that the word, to not be able to stay in your union. So that's one thing. So the name calling, the blaming, the disrespect, the lowering of your status as a woman.
So you just stay and endure.
You know that song that says,
no, you don't stay and endure.
When we're here, because you are not married, you don't have any monyam, you don't have glory, you don't have crown upon your head. So those two things, when people get into relationship and it's abusive, the fear of being an unmarried single woman is there. Then there's also the problem of where do I go? This is a situation where we enter into relationships and then we are so dependent on our partner. Our partners also say don't work. Our economic survival, you know, people are into unions where they don't own anything. Their name is on no property. The property, they're working together, they're supporting the family, but they own nothing. All the assets of that family and that union is in the name of their husbands. When day comes that I want to leave, they tell you, pick your bag and leave. Have you heard the narrative that says your husband will throw you out? Do you reflect on that? What does that mean? You are not a part of that home. You are a guest, and your things will be thrown out. Or your bags, you leave this house with your handbag. You leave empty-handed and you leave naked. And I'll strip you of everything, including your children. And every mother who is told that I will take your children away from you would think twice before they leave. The fear of not having your children, the fear of not knowing where to go, the fear of starting all over again, all those fears and uncertainties are some of the reasons why women don't leave. And also, there's an institution and a system that say keep praying and keep trying and be patient. It will work out. Change your strategies. Be more respectful. Give him time. Forgive him. Pray about it. Fast some more. So when you see an individual woman going, she's getting a lot of information fed to her by a system that our church is our counselors. They're very good at telling you how you should. And so that is why a lot of people celebrate the movie The War Room. I am worried about that movie because it puts a lot, is that what it's called? The War Room. It puts a lot of responsibility and burden on the woman to fix the system.
Interesting.
So instead of setting off and leaving, she is actually setting.
I'm going to be reflecting on that. Yes, I will. I want to hear you on this issue. I know that you came in briefly, but you have so much experience. I want to hear you.
When you are getting into marriage, you are told that it must not fail and that it is your responsibility to ensure that it succeeds. And so women have that psychological barrier in their minds that they must do everything to make sure that the marriage works. And then they would be, what is this?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
I told them we're going to close earlier than this, so we're closing in a bit. But I just wanted to hear you before we close.
Anyway, and so it's important that we understand that getting into a marriage is a two-way thing, and that both partners must make it work. It's not the sole responsibility of the woman to make it work. And when the woman says that she no longer wants it to work, she should not be disgraced. It's not a shameful thing. I am divorced. I was married for 21 years. It was by choice. Yes, and then when I decided to divorce too, it was by choice. And so I'm not ashamed of being somebody who has been into marriage and come out. And you must prepare yourself for
the backlash.
Yes, for the backlash.
Do you ever get over it?
Does
it ever get to you?
Yes. I decided that I wanted to be divorced. I did not want to continue with the marriage. So it is a bold step for women. And for men, it works both ways. You must appreciate that when you're going, how are you going to take care of yourself? That's why you educate yourself, you have a job and things like that. And the children don't belong to the man, they belong to both of us.
Yeah.
So the man cannot say, I'm taking your children away. That's why I say you must know your rights. And the family cannot say that we're taking your children away, because the children belong to both of us. And so I'm not saying that women should go and get divorced, but I'm saying that there should not be any stigma. There's some people who have been married 5 times, 3 times, so they too, they should be ashamed. Or it's okay to marry 10 times and things like that. We need to change the way we don't compromise and we don't appreciate each other. There's no room for diversity. We think that everybody should be in a straight jacket. Life is not a straight path. Yeah. It bends and all of that. So we need to appreciate that people are different, and what might work for you might not work for the other. And so if I am divorced, it's not a crime. It's not a disgrace. I should be able to live happily with my life. If I choose to meet another partner or marry again, that is okay. There are some societies even where women don't want to have children. But in our culture, if you don't have a child, then they begin to insult you and call you names. And they forget that it could be the man's fault. So these are all changes of attitudes that we need to look at to ensure that the woman feels confident. For me, that is where it starts from. Understanding your femininity, your womanhood, and knowing that it is okay to be a woman. It is okay to live your life as a woman, and that you will make mistakes. That one too is okay, and you will correct them. And so if you get it wrong today, you might get it right tomorrow. But the psychological abuse, when you are in a relationship that you are not happy, where they are beating you up and raping you and demoralizing you, that one is unacceptable. The woman must be able to say in her mind that I too am a person. Nobody should beat me. So I am going to leave or find a solution to it. Don't stay in it and say, because of the children and this. And before you know it, you have died. And your children will not be proud of you. They would say, why did mommy stay? Why was she always miserable? You have to happy yourself, my sisters. Young girls, happy yourselves. Be confident in who you are. You are a beautiful woman. You are a special human being. You are the vessel of creation. Don't allow anybody to disturb your soul, to disturb your dignity. I want the girl of Ghana, today Ghana at 60, to say, this is me. I have arrived. And I am taking the world on. And take it to the limit. Have a wonderful International Women's Day. Not only today, for the 52 days, 352 weeks, 365 days, for the rest of your life. Be happy.
I wish I could just say thank you and we rise. But there are 3 girls who are missing in Takrady, and I thought we'd spend just 30 seconds on this day. What would you say to the families, Dinah?
It's heartbreaking, it's scary, and it's worrying. And what worries me is that I feel that we could do something as a country. We could do something as government. The security agencies could do better. Because from a very ordinary person's perspective, I see so many dots that could be connected and this problem could be solved. But it feels like somebody is not doing something. And to compound it with the fact that the same people who were supposed to protect us worked with the perpetrator to get him off the hook and to bring him back, and all we are focusing on is how he ran away. I think the country is letting this family down, and I bleed inside. I'm frightened. A mother of a teenage daughter myself, I'm frightened by these scenarios. And I just want to encourage the family that don't give up. We support them. We're trying to do all the little we can do on social media, but the family shouldn't give up. They should continue to make noise. No visits from politicians is enough. I mean, the politicians can visit their houses, their homes 5 times in the day. Is still not enough until they see their daughters, and they should be vigilant. Maybe just another more clue could unravel all of this, and we could find our girls. We want our girls back.
Absolutely.
We want our girls back.
Adamatiko, you've got beautiful girls.
Ghana becoming Boko Haram. It's frightening, really frightening. And I would like to say, Monshade, and say to the parents that we are all with them, because I have 2 daughters and 2 sons. I was actually, somebody called to threaten my life a few weeks back. So I can understand. I was really traumatized by the phone call and things like that. It's important that we in Ghana understand that we are a community of Ghanaians. We are each other's keeper. So your neighbor's child is your child. So if you take somebody's child, you have stolen your own child. And see how traumatic it is for you to come home and not find your child. Why would you do that to somebody? There isn't enough money in this world to pay for this fine lady or for you. So don't do it. Number one, the people who are doing it must stop. It is not worth it. And the parents, may God be with you. We all pray with you. And the system, the government, the organizations that are doing this must be up and doing. Look, people, neighbors will see something. The people around will see something. They must not leave any door unturned. And you don't want somebody to be a statistic. That's what I told the police when I reported the case of my life being threatened. I don't want to be a statistic. I don't want you to tell my children that this is what has happened to your mother. I don't want you to tell those parents that you cannot find their children. You must find them. That is why you are the police. You must find them. And those who are keeping them must return them. Eye haram, eye musyo, to take somebody's child away from them. I want to really beg all people who are doing this to stop it. And then the parents, we must also, as she said, be vigilant and make sure that we caution our children. And don't let your little child go to school alone. Yesterday, I was going to work. I set up the Henry Jaba Foundation in memory of my father to look at persons who are vulnerable, disabled, gender, and all of that. And I saw a little boy, he couldn't have been more than 4 years, going to school on his own. I didn't see anybody accompanying him. It is not good enough. You must go with your child to school, even when they are 16, let alone when they are 4 years old. And don't leave them at home alone. Too many parents are busy now, so children go to school on their own, come back alone. You have to take preventive and cautionary measures in protecting what you love. Children are our precious jewels. And so for us to be able to protect them, then we must make the time to be with them. And don't send them to buy anything on their own. Oh, go and buy this, go and buy that. In between going and coming, something has happened. Go yourself. Protect your child because that child is special to you. And yes, you might say that it doesn't matter what you do, something bad will happen. Think positively and pray that it doesn't. But do all the precautionary, take all the precautionary steps to ensure that it doesn't happen. But please bring the children back home so that mothers and fathers will also feel good. And then the security system should be beefed up so that Ghanaians will feel more confident. Because it's good to be, you know, we just celebrated 62 years independence. It's good to be a Ghanaian. I always say, don't mind the mosquitoes. Ghana is the best place on earth. And we need to make it so.
Absolutely.
Each one of us has a responsibility to commit to making Ghana the best place in the world, and it has to be the safest for all of us.
Thank you, and I
bring back our tardy girls.
Bring back our tardy girls, absolutely.
Yes,
and I hope
I join in that. Bring them back.
I hope that you feel safer a bit after because you mentioned the threats.
Oh yes, the police brought some bodyguards to my house, and we've also taken extra precautionary measures. Important. But I believe that my life is in the hands of God. It is not a human being that, it is not somebody who brought me into this world. It was by the grace of God. And so my life is in the hands of God. And anybody who dares to touch me, may the Holy Ghost fire the person. Because I didn't come here for them. I came for my parents, myself, my country. And I don't think that anybody has the right to take my life or anybody else's life.
Thank you.
Holy Ghost fire you.
Thank you so much. Haven't I missed you? Thank you, Dinah. I know we've taken a lot more time than we were supposed to. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Apologies. Thank you.